Hi Nazym, fantastic work on submitting this second lot of writing, really well done. Like I said before, you're doing the best things that you possibly can to improve your writing, and by working on the feedback from last time, you're making improvements every time, so this is great. Let's have a look at what you had this time then. So your first piece was writing a letter to your friend, apologising for not coming to their event, explaining how you did try to contact him or her, and suggesting an alternate plan. Okay, so the important things to realise here are that you're writing a letter, which you've done, is great, and also that this is to a friend, so we can acknowledge that it's an informal letter or kind of more colloquial letter than if we were writing to a boss or a manager, etc. Okay, so, dear Emma, Gits, how are you these days? I hope your boss does not continue his old habit of bombarding you with work. Good, great imagination. I'm really sorry for not coming to your birthday party. Although I was supposed to come and wish you a happy birthday in person, I had to meet the deadline for our budgeting campaign. That task just drove me up the wall so that your birthday date completely slipped out of my memory. Okay, well done. So, first of all, I can see that you're trying to use some idioms here and some more natural sounding phrases. So using kind of bombarding you with work is great, and drove me up the wall. These are really good, and it shows that you're pushing for a higher level of English here, which is good. So how are you these days? Great. I hope your boss does not continue his old habit of bombarding you with work. Okay, so we can slightly change this sentence by keeping the same idea but slightly different language at the beginning. So I hope your boss is not still bombarding you with work. Okay, I hope your boss is not still bombarding you with work. Okay, so I'm really sorry for not coming to your birthday party. Although I was supposed to come and wish you happy birthday in person, I had to meet the deadline for our budgeting campaign. Good, yeah, that's all really good. That task drove me up the wall, and your birthday completely slipped my mind. Instead of slipped out of my memory, slipped my mind, so I forgot about it. It slipped my mind. Good. The next day, I woke up feeling tremendously guilty. Okay, so we don't need in front of you here, so feeling tremendously guilty, and it took me several minutes to realise that my mind had gone blank just the day before. Okay, I feel so sorry about it. I tried to call you several times, but you never answered. So I think So instead of deeply offended, because this is quite a formal phrase, we would say, so I think I really upset you. Okay, I really upset you. Good. Alright then, we're done. So a good explanation there. For this part, I feel so sorry about it. I would change that slightly and say, I'm really sorry. So we already know that it's about the fact that you've missed the birthday, so we don't need to say about it, but just, I'm really sorry. Okay, good. So I have a suggestion to redress what I did wrong towards you. Now, there is actually a different way we can say this with a natural sounding phrase, and that is, I have a suggestion for how I can make it up to you. So make, as in the verb to make, M-A-K-E, it up to you. So I have a suggestion for how I can make it up to you. So it means to do something, to apologise. Okay. Why don't both of us hang out together in that cosy cafe we both like? Good, well done, great phrase there. How about this Saturday? I will cover all costs as well as arrange a birthday present for you. Okay, so again, a little bit formal here. So I will pay and even bring your birthday present. Okay, so I will pay and even bring your birthday present. If you're worried that it will cost me an arm and a leg, don't worry about it. Okay. Yeah, so keeping it quite informal here, which is good. So if you're worried that it will cost me an arm and a leg, don't worry about it. Well done, good. Let me know what you think about my suggestion. In the meantime, instead of meanwhile, meantime, I apologise once again for not only being unable to come, but also for not calling you on your birthday. Okay, good. In the meantime, so instead of I apologise, again it's quite formal, so I'm sorry once again for not only being unable to come, but also for not calling you on your birthday. And then hope I managed to straighten the issue out. Again, this is very formal. This might be what we would send to our manager if we've done something wrong. So, hope I managed to straighten the issue out. How about something like, hope to see you on Saturday? Okay. And then, miss you, Nazym. Okay. Yeah, good. Well done. So, like I said, some really good phrases in there that are more natural more natural English, like completely slipped my mind, bombarding you with work, arm and a leg. These are all really, really good. It's just tweaking those final bits to make it slightly less formal. So, for example, that ending there, but straightening the issue out. Also having that part about covering all costs, that I'll pay for everything, because it's a friend rather than a manager or a superior. Okay, but well done. Great work on that one, really good. Let's go on to your next one then. So the next one you had was your essay, so special programs for social integration and help are better alternatives than harsher prison sentences for minor crimes. Do you support or oppose this opinion? Explain your position. Okay, good. So let's look at your introduction. Stringent conviction for minor crimes or arrangement of social integration and assistance is one of the most controversial subjects of today's jurisprudence. Some people believe that people who break the law have to be strictly punished, while others think that milder alternatives need to be considered for outlaws who perform summary offences. I personally advocate arrangement of help to minor outlaws. This essay will support my opinion by proving points and stating arguments from criminal statistics of various states of America. Okay, well done. So in terms of form, a good introduction there, so outlining the problem, giving your opinion, so your side of the argument, and this is key because this question is asking you whether you support or oppose, okay, and to explain your position. So showing your opinion is really important here. This essay will support my opinion by proving points and stating arguments. Good, so this is outlining what you'll do in the essay. What I would say is possibly that the start of your essay is a little bit too long, purely because we're thinking of the word count and the time limit here. We want to keep the bulk of the information for the main part of your essay. So is there a way that we can shorten this slightly? What I would suggest is that we eliminate the first sentence and we keep the second sentence. So some people believe that people who break the law have to be strictly punished, while others think that milder alternatives, comma, such as social integration, comma, need to be considered for those who commit minor offences. Okay, or smaller offences, because we've, although we haven't already used minor because we've taken it out, yeah, so we can use minor offences here. Okay, that way we're getting both points in, but just into one sentence instead of two longer ones. And then you'd have your opinion, and then the essay will support. Good, okay. On the one hand, there are people who support the strict measures that need to be taken on those who cross the law. Okay, so on the one hand, there are people who support the strict measures that need to be taken against those who break the law. Instead of cross the law, break the law, B-R-E-A-K, break the law. Their opinion is twofold. Not only are criminals punished, but also other individuals will think twice about overstepping the law. Okay, so to think twice about something, think twice about overstepping the law. Criminal records of states with strict punishment, such as Texas and Arizona, demonstrate that the harsher the punishment, the lower the criminal record is. imposing of longer sentences decreased the small law violence by 55%. Okay, so imposing of longer sentences decreased minor crime by 55%, or decreased minor crimes such as violence by 55%. Therefore, stringent conviction reduces crime rates. However, the same statistics indicate that harsher punishments reduce chances for the offender to return to normal life by 38%. Okay, good. Well done. So some really strong evidence there. So about the violence being reduced by 55%. Okay. Now then, I would suggest that this second statistic could come in your second paragraph. We'll read that one in a moment, because this is supporting the fact that harsher punishments are not as effective. So it could be better to have this in the other argument. Okay. Alright, let's look at this one. So, on the other hand, there are people who believe that minor outlaws, minor criminals here, need to receive support in terms of their integration into the society. Even though these criminals perform small infringements of the law, the consequences of their wrongdoing do not significantly affect both people or society, because we've got a negative here, do not significantly affect both people or society. In fact, I would take out both and say people or society. Proponents of milder methods of punishment suggest that such type of criminals need to be fully absorbed by society in a way that makes them return to normal life, or that helps them return to normal life. So this could be a good point here to have that statistic, so that harsher punishment reduces chance of the law offender of returning to normal life. So you could say it is proven that harsher punishment does not help people return to normal life, and that it reduces it by 38%. So that would be good evidence to have here. These trespasses, be careful with trespasses, because it has a very specific definition as somebody who has been somewhere where they shouldn't be. So, for example, on some land where they shouldn't be. So these criminals need to go through rehabilitation alongside both educational and mental support that will help them to reintegrate into society. For example, states such as California and New York enjoy the benefits of decreased crime rates, altogether with properly educated ex-criminals who are add-on value employees in today's job markets. Okay. Statistics show that around 60% decrease of small law breaks is directly associated with mild measures taken towards gangsters. Okay, so statistics show that around a 60% decrease in small crimes is directly associated with mild measures taken towards criminals here instead of gangsters, among whom 55% are nowadays valued employees at their workplaces. Hence, methods alternative to stricter harsh punishment prove to be efficient. Good. Okay, so instead of among whom, we'd say 55% of those released are now valued employees at their workplaces. Okay. Hence, methods alternatives to strict punishments prove to be very efficient. Okay. Okay. Now, I would say that this paragraph is possibly a little bit long for the word limit of the exam. So it would be best to have a look through and see if there is anything that you could take out. So, for example, we've got the second half of the paragraph here, where we've repeated ourselves slightly. So you've said about being value employees, and then you've mentioned that again later. So it would be best just to keep the statistic here and take out the descriptive part that says about being valued employees. Also, these statistics, it's not clear whether these are just in New York and California or whether they are in kind of bigger areas. If they were just to do with New York and California, you could reduce this sentence here and then add on these two statistics just to make it that little bit shorter. Okay. Just need to go through educational and mental support. Okay, as well as this, you've used the part about educational and mental support. However, it's not related to the example. So what I would suggest is that you stick with the idea of rehabilitation into the job market, for example, because that's where most of your evidence is here. So a decrease in small crime and an increase in the amount of employees that are ex-criminals who are working. Okay, so it would possibly be best to focus on work rather than education and mental support, just because that adds another area that we don't have time to explore in this paragraph. Okay, and it's understandable that you can't cover everything to do with crime in this essay, so focusing on your key points is really important. Okay, good. Yeah, okay, so for that paragraph, I would suggest then that we focus just on reintegrating into society through work, reducing the description slightly towards the end so that we're focusing on the two statistics instead. Okay. Good. All right then. So to conclude, I would like to say that although stringent conviction is necessary for major law violence, okay, so for major crimes, it is not always applicable to minor ones. While harsh punishment decreases crime statistics, it does not help the person to reintegrate into normal life or back into society, for example. On the contrary, though, both help and support demonstrate their efficiencies in persons' reintegration to this society. While harsh punishment decreases crime statistics, it does not help the person to get reintegrated into society. On the contrary, help and support demonstrate their efficiencies in a person's reintegration into society. Okay, so this last sentence is slightly unclear because it's not specific. On the contrary, so we can use the words from the question here. Special programs for social integration are efficient in reintegrating ex-criminals, for example. So if ever you're struggling with a description, use the words from the question, and it will make your description more well-rounded and linked back to that question. Okay, good. So some very big positives in this essay. There are a few mistakes. You've used a lot of great vocabulary. You've got some strong statistics. What I would suggest is that your second paragraph is slightly too long, as we mentioned, and just needs tweaking a little bit to make it a little bit more coherent. Okay, so by reducing a little bit of your description in the middle, by sticking to workplace rather than mental health support and education, and yeah, good, and changing a couple of the words from gangsters to criminals, etc. Okay, but yes, good work. Very well done. Again, 2 pieces of writing that you should definitely be proud of, and definite improvement from last time. So, great work. Well done.